I'm going to have fun with you. I'll make you submit.
Welcome everyone, I'm Force Nature, and this is Top Tier Tips. In this session, we're going to be taking a look at the Master Alchemist herself and Master of the Whip Sword, Ivy Valentine. If you like employing a near absolute keep out style, so that means fighting at range, keeping the opponent out of your face because you're engaging in some responsible social distancing, then Ivy is the woman for you. And yes, she can stomp on people. Ivy's Z-zoning character in SoulCalibur 6. So for instance, this right here, 6-6A hold. This move goes tremendously far, and it's a horizontal mid. This move is just nuts. Alright, let's see, there's other moves. There's 6B hold, 6B plus K, so I mean, let's see, 4B. And look how far 4B goes. I know it's a linear high, but this goes like incredibly far. And there's other stuff too, such as like 6A goes pretty far. Oh, 1AA goes pretty far. Ivy's basically able to be able to whip punish from across the screen. Alright, let me show you. This is 9B plus K. See, this move can basically catch the opponent from across the screen, and you can just follow it with 6B8 for like a small juggle, and then like if they lay on the ground, you can just stomp on them. And also, oh yeah, Ivy has a 12 frame A. That's pretty... I mean, that's just pretty damn good for a character. I mean, look at that. Even the AA goes so far, and if you just connect it at like tip range, and you end up getting a lethal hit. So I mean, like that, this AA is just pretty damn good. Also, Ivy's 4-4A also goes pretty far, and you see it's a hit throw on the opponent, and ends up like leaving them like behind them, like so. Similar to like 6B plus K, pulls the opponent closer to you. Oh, and just for the hell of it, Ivy also has some like really powerful throws. This is Calamity Symphony. It deals a crap load of damage. But before I go on, I would like to thank Smart Esports and Trollcoin for endorsing this video. And as always, if you like this video, smash that like button. If you didn't like this video, just hit the like button anyway, and don't forget to subscribe for more juicy 3D fighter content. I'd also like to take this moment to thank my premium top tier fighters for their continued support, which I do appreciate. If you'd like to become a premium top tier fighter yourself, click on the Patreon link down below. Ivy is not a close range fighter, and basically you should be trying to avoid close range combat as much as you can. But it's a SoulCalibur, and close range combat's gonna happen, so I might as well just show you it anyway. Alright, in close range, your go-to is just simply A or like AA. I already showed you earlier that, let's say for instance the first swing misses, then the second hit will lethal hit if it hits the opponent, and again it goes like pretty damn far. But in close range, it's just a 2-hit high. Other moves you're going to be using in close is just 2A or 2K. Despite Ivy's 2A being a special low, it's actually it's 16 frames, and yeah, and it's pretty good range, but it's not a 12 frame 2A even like what Songmina has. So like 2K's also 16 frames, and both of these moves are negative on hit. Like 2A's that are special lows are usually positive on hit, but Ivy's is negative. So whether you do like 2A or 2K, it's like whatever. It's just a high crushing low, just to, I don't know, just kind of like stuff the opponent or like whatever, like that. Alright, Ivy's BB is 16 frames, so that's kind of like a bit slow for a BB. But she does have a 14 frame mid attack, her 3K right here. And that, alright, it's a pretty just standard poke, kind of like your 12 frame K. But if you do hold it down, and you just smack the opponent in the gut, for instance, then right there you get that gut stun, and you can just stomp on the opponent, or just hold B and do like a hit like that, which knocks the opponent a bit away. But if the opponent ends up blocking this move, then it ends up being +2 on block. So you have the quick version, you have the charge version. So I mean, the charge version, of course, is good whenever you have any advantage, but this is still your quick mid. In general with Ivy, oh, I actually have one more also relatively fast high. She has is 6B, well not 6B, but 6B8. And you can also do 6B8K like so, and you can just get that 12 frame high, then you get that like little low kick move. But oh yeah, crouching with Ivy is not the worst thing when the opponent gets close, because Ivy does actually have some pretty good options from crouch. For instance, her Wall Rising K is decent. Her 1B is nice. Oh, with regards to 1B, if you hold it down, I mean, well, full crouch 1B, you go into what's called Spiral Lust Stance. It's kind of weird though. It's considered a stance even though there's not really much you can do out of it. Basically, all you can do is you can just let me just get this right. You can release it right away. You get like a very low launch like that. If you hold it down a bit, but don't let it go to the fire, then you'll launch high. And if you let it hold it down the entire way, then you'll end up launching the opponent like really high. Alright, all the versions of that is a low, and this move also has like good range, so this move can actually trip up the opponent quite easily, mainly because as soon as they have to see the flame, then they're gonna probably end up like trying to react. So what you end up doing is most times is just trying to like nail the opponent with like the quick one. So just go with like different timings of it. Other options that you can end up doing out of crouch is, for instance, A is okay. If you hold it down, then you get the chain version. If you just tap it, then you get the sword version. Alright, that's also a recurring theme with Ivy. For most moves, if you tap it, you get the sword version. If you hold it down, you get the what's called the snake sword version or whip version right there. So it's like that with like a guy with a bunch of moves with Ivy, even though AA and BB get the whip anyway. But the same with like also like 2-2B. See, if you tap it, you get the sword version. If you hold it down, then you end up getting the whip version, and that also goes into a stance there called Serpent's Embrace, which I'll go over a little later. But with regards to While Rising, your go-to poke is just simply While Rising K if you just want to get the opponent off. But for strong options, you have While Rising BB. And you can follow up with 8 plus B, then hold B. It's basically, there's that move, or if you hold it down, then you get a little bit more damage after it. So you can follow up with that off of either While Rising BB, or the same as like nice go-to low crush 9 BBB. And you can end up doing like the same follow-up afterwards. So yeah, While Rising B, good option. For another move out of While Rising, oh yeah, Ivy has another launcher, her full crouch 1B. See, this right here is a good reverse ring out launcher. Actually, While Rising BB can also set up reverse ring outs also. So generally, when Ivy is her back to the ring edge, if you're her opponent, don't run at her. I mean, she's basically to try and smack you with this, and I'll show you a little juggle that you can do after that. Take note that 1B won't launch if you use it in a range other than like basically point blank range. So using point blank range, always launch the opponent over, and then you can always follow up with like a back turn B plus K for instance. But yeah, if you use it any further out, then it'll just simply knock the opponent over. Oh yeah, with regards to also now just continuing on a little bit with Ivy's crouching state. Her While Rising B plus K is a really good GI attack, so a really good guard impact. While Rising B plus K will GI against like high attacks, mid attacks, or even like low attacks. So it's a good kind of go-to defensive option from crouch. If you want some more offensive or retaliatory type moves in close range, with Ivy, her 6A K is good. It's a double high, but it does leave her at frame advantage and pushes the opponent out a bit. And although 6AA is also quite good, like the last hit pushes out a lot, even though this string basically goes high, mid, high, so the opponent does have a chance to duck the second hit. So you can just do like 6AK, which is it's a lot harder to be able to duck under the second hit. Like if the opponent does end up doing that, because if they do end up blocking the last hit, yeah, you push them out a lot. But either of these moves are quite good, and of course I ended up showing you earlier. Anytime when you have any sort of like advantage or frame advantage over the opponent, then try and like sneak it. Try and sneak in 3K. I mean, like, not a huge fan of full crouch 3K, but stand-in 3K is a great move, whether it hits or gets blocked. A good go-to high crush in close range will be 1A or 1AA. I already showed you earlier that this move has tremendous range for a low sweep. I mean, it is unsafe if the opponent ends up blocking the second hit, so you can just simply do the first hit to trip up the opponent. It leaves you in your crouching state, so then you can end up using your like your While Rising moves. So yeah, 1A is a great move. Anytime your opponent's pressuring you a lot with either like high attacks or like linear vertical attacks, which I admit accounts for a lot of moves in SoulCalibur 6. But Ivy has a move to kind of deal with both, is her 214B. This move is a high crushing, so it's a tech crouch, sidestepping move. So it avoids linear moves well, and it can duck under high. So I basically just call this the IVDP. So anytime if the opponent's pressuring you a lot, you don't know what to do, hashtag 214B. If you were to do 214B hold, so hold down B, then you go into Ivy's special stance called Serpent's Embrace, or SE, so this stance right here. So in this stance, your go-to option is going to be 4A. So right there is a good range, horizontal low, very sneaky, trips the opponent up, knocks him down, so it's a good option. If you're in close range, so for instance, if you were to enter Serpent's Embrace manually, quarter circle back or 214K, then 6B is a good option. Pulls the opponent towards you, knocks him down, and gives you a free 1K stomp attempt. You also have a pretty dirty unblockable out of this move. If you press A plus B from Serpent's Embrace, then you get a long-range, mid-hidden, horizontal unblockable. Like, this could be really dangerous if the opponent's like kind of trapped or anything like that. So if you hit this move, it usually leaves you in a good range. So if the opponent tries to run into you or anything, they can very easily get by that move. I mean, yeah, if you use it predictably, then you can get punished. But let's say you just end up just like hit the opponent with like 214B. You do this move, and right there you end up controlling a lot of space in front of you. So that is a pretty good unblockable move. I know most unblockables are usually just slow verticals like so, and so they're easily sidestep. But this move cannot be sidestepped. So I mean, it could be a pretty dirty unblockable if kind of used in moderation. Right, out of this, you also have a break attack in 4B, like so. It also sidesteps a little bit too, so it is a good break attack, like you're usually, which is it's very similar to our normal A plus B, but it's still also a pretty good break attack. And for her K option, it's just like her 6K, so it's just a quick body check, just to. I don't know. Just think like with like Hilda. Hilda's another character that doesn't like to get pressured in close range. So it's not quite as good as like Hilda's shoulder, but it's still like a decent kind of like mid poke on your opponent. But in general, you're either gonna do like 4A or even the B option is okay too. Even though I know this move does have a pretty tough like just frame out of it. You know what? I'll go over the just frame move right now. So Ivy's Serpent's Embrace, B, 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 B. Alright, if you do the non-just frame version, there's only 3 Bs. 1, 2, 3, then just knocks the opponent down, which is okay. But if you were, for instance, using it in a juggle off of, let's say, 2-2B hold, then yes, then you'll have to try and get all 5 hits on there. Alright, I'll just let you know right now. 2-2B right here, if you don't hold it down, you just get that move, which is kind of useless. But if you hold it down, you end up getting this move right here, which is your go-to sidestep launcher. So anytime the opponent does a predicted vertical attack or linear move, then you'll punish with 2-2B hold. Then you go into the Serpent's Embrace, and then the fall will be just basically that B string called Howling Spirits. Alright, let's let you know right now that the first hit is not a just frame. This just frame starts on the second hit right there, and then you can do it 4 more times, ending in a break attack, and you get pretty good damage. So let's let you know, the rhythm is pretty hard to do. What it is that the first hit, you have to end up delaying the second hit a little bit, right there, and then the next three hits afterwards, the just framed rhythm timing is a lot tighter, even though it's consistent, but it is pretty tough to do. Like you have to basically kind of like tap it at a very steady rhythm. The thing that will actually mess you up is the fact that the first part of the just frame is kind of delayed. Almost got it. There we go. Just got it right there. So basically, once you're able to get like the second hit, for instance, then the main thing is just being able to get down the rest of the rhythm. But the thing is, if you end up like pausing it in any way, or if you end up pausing in between it at any time, then they'll end up like just screwing you up. So the main thing to do is just kind of practice. It's just practice getting the initial time in, because again, from the first hit to the second hit, it's a little delayed, but from there, then it's just simply getting like a tap, 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 tap. But I'll let you know that if you do have trouble with that and you end up punishing something with 2-2-B, using 8B plus K is a perfectly fine option. 8B plus K, it looks a lot like, not that move, like 6B8. Like it's pretty much the same move. Come on. Right there, you get that awesome bow and arrow, and you still get respectable damage for doing so if you have trouble with the just frame time. Well, Manit, along with 2-2-B, Ivy's other two sidestep moves, so 2-2-A or like so, or 2-2-K are both really good moves. What makes 2-2-K really good is that it's a sidestepping move that's also a really good tracking high crush. So if you end up hitting this move on counter hit, then you can follow up with 2-1-4-B, and again, if you hold it down, you can go into Serpent's Embrace. And 2-2-A, the main thing about 2-2-A is, in general, it's kind of a meh move, but if the opponent, for instance, were to whiff a linear move, and you see right here, you end up getting a lethal hit off it. So basically, if you're completely certain that the opponent's going to do a linear move, then 2-2-A is a good go-to. But if you're not completely certain, then doing 2-2-B is also good also, and 2-2-K is just a very evasive move in general. Long range. Ivy's favorite range. Being the godlike keep-out character that Ivy is, naturally she loves long range. So basically, I think I might have said it earlier, but anytime you're at long range with Ivy, if the opponent's like is whiffing anything or is being like sloppy, then just nail him with a 9B plus K launch, and it launches the opponent right before, and you can like do a little like juggle that I've been showing you before. If you're at, let's say, a little closer than like, I don't know, like the other end of the screen, then you would use 8B plus K, and it just pops the opponent up like this. You don't really get as much kind of juggle potential. I just did a 6B8 right there. But yeah, naturally your point with Ivy is to stay around long range or even like mid range, and to stay there like for as much as like the match as you can. I mean, the only time you should be in close is when you're at the advantage and you can try and like threaten the opponent with Ivy's powerful command throws, for instance. Alright, so I might have ended up showing this as like the first move, but really the move you want the opponent to just get annoyed the hell by is her 6-6-A hold. See, this move is just it's just a really crazy, well, it's a 2-hit in mid, so it's normally just 6-6-A. This move also will let you know is safe on block. This one's something about -8. If you end up doing this part in close, the 6-A hold, then it does leave you, if the opponent does block it, it leaves you in a pretty weird spot because it doesn't really push back that much on block. I mean, compared to like how far it pushes back on like hit relatively. Like this move just goes like really far. It is a good mid though, but of course once the opponent starts to actually be a bit more patient and inch their way up, then the move, I know, it becomes like a little less effective. Then what you would end up trying to do maybe is try and trip them up with you can try and trip them up with 1A. A good move to try and kind of keep the opponent in place is 6B. Here, just like all the other moves, and I think I might have also like said it earlier throughout this guide, is normally when you tap it, you get the normal version. Same for 6B. You hold it, you get the snake sword version. And if you do 6B8, you knock the opponent to Ivy's left. If you do 6B2, you knock the opponent to Ivy's right. So this move can be kind of annoying for kind of basically just zoning the opponent range, because like zoning is essentially controlling space in the sense of like basically controlling your opponent's movement. So at long range with Ivy, you can poke with the aforementioned 6A hold. You can also poke with 6B, whether it be 6B2, 6B8. But if the opponent is usually, let's say, using a move that creates a lot of space and basically has like a lot of recovery, essentially if they're whiffing something, or if you end up blocking a move that ends up creating a lot of space in between you, then Ivy is one of the few characters can actually usually punish that kind of stuff with their 6B plus K. So you end up blocking it, then you 6B plus K hold, then you bring the opponent in, you get a pretty good punish right there. Or let's say you sidestep a long range move, same thing, you can punish this move. This is for if you're out of range of 6B well, I mean, let's say out of range of like 2-2-B hold, then 6B plus these sidestep 6B plus K is usually pretty good. You see, it's not as long range as like it's not quite as long range as 9B plus K, but it still goes like pretty far. I mean, this is just like stuff that's like it's almost impossible for like majority of the cast to be able to punish, because this Ivy just essentially has like the longest range pokes in the game. To make things even more annoying for the opponent, Ivy also has like a couple like really dangerous moves that she can use at long range. Like for instance, she has a long range throw inputted with 3 A plus G. See, this throw ends up yanking the opponent closer to you. If you use the more mid-range version from let's say around here, this is 2 A plus G. This one will knock the opponent away, so I find that the 2 A plus G is preferable because generally anything that knocks the opponent away is just really good with Ivy. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you may want to get your offense kind of going and get the opponent close to you, and I'll just let you know that this is a nice move to kind of give the opponent a spanking with, like 2B. But yeah, both these throws can be like incredibly annoying for the opponent, and I know that like before like numerous patches, and I know like basically at the start of the game, this move like basically used to be able to track and all that. So, but I know now it doesn't really track, and the way how the opponent beats it is well by crouch blocking. So yeah, so it's basically considered to be like a low throw, but it's still like a really annoying move. The thing about this move is that it complements another long range move with Ivy, is either her 2B plus K or her 3B plus K. So right here, the range is very very similar right here. So it basically goes. Alright, so the 3B plus K goes, or the 3A plus G goes a little further, but the main thing is that this move's a mid, and the low throws are considered a low. So it's essentially a ranged mix-up. So if you end up like doing like a move, for instance, that ends up kind of like knocking the like you finish a juggle and it's like knocking the opponent like away or something like that, then you could depending on the opponent's range, then you could try and like mix them up with like 3A plus G or 3B plus K, for instance. From mid-range, Ivy is still really good. A nice go-to poke is just simply 6A. You can also use 6B A also. If you go into the SE stance, you actually will leave yourself... You actually can leave yourself at advantage if you end up... if it gets blocked, so it's good whether it gets blocked or hit, but 6A is a good move in general. If you want a nice track in mid, 3A hold is good. I mean, along with like... along with of course 6A hold, but 3A hold, like these, it's just Ivy just has a good selection of long reaching tracking moves. So 1A is another good move. I already said the same with long range. 6B is kind of good just for kind of controlling the opponent. So, and also, if for any reason that you do want to try and get in on the opponent to try and like pressure them, 6B is a good like go-to move. It does have a follow-up in like 6BB, so I mean it's like a 16 frame move. So that's for Ivy, that's pretty good speed for like a get-in move. And also I already like showed you 6K a little earlier. And there's a little bit of a gimmicky string that Ivy has with her 6KB. So basically what happens is Ivy ends up just chucks out her knee. This also comes out in 16 frames, and then you have this sword comes out and smacks the opponent in the back of the head. So if the opponent knows about it, then they can just, well, kind of just duck it. But if they don't, then yeah, I mean, it's actually frame advantage if the opponent blocks that too, and yeah, when it knocks down, then you can always get a 1K stomp. So yeah, and you can actually hold it down. Then the hit ends up becoming unblockable. Although I mean, I don't think it's ever really necessary to really like hold it down the entire way if the high is frame advantage anyway, because it's a gimmicky move where the opponent's either going to like deal with it or not. Talking about gimmicky moves, another gimmicky move that Ivy can use when she has any advantage on the opponent, like on Wake Up or anything, that is her quarter circle back A. Alright, this is 100 damage unblockable. That's basically going to be the same idea as like with 6KB. It's either going to hit or it's not. I'll say right now that this move is a high, but looking at the animation, there is absolutely no way you can tell this move is high. It looks like a horizontal mid. I mean, I know that with like something like Serpent's Embrace, like A plus B, like This one you can clearly see is a mid, but with this one though, I mean, you basically just have to know. You basically just have to know it's a high, and then you can crouch under it and punish Ivy for it. If the opponent doesn't like know that it's a high, and they like, I don't know, block it or try and like deal with it, and they'll just get hit for smack for 100 damage. Another nice move from around mid range is Ivy's 4A. Alright, this move, if it gets blocked, I think it actually leaves you at light advantage. It is a high attack. It comes out around 20 frames. So it gives you your 20 damage. It hits twice. If you hold it down, then you go into the Serpent's Embrace stance where you can use the usual options. I mean, 4A is always fun. But yeah, this is a really nice move, so it's good whether it ends up hidden or it gets blocked. Oh, and lastly, since the purpose of 6-6A hold is to be the bane of the opponent's existence, if this move was to, for instance, connect on an opponent that was trying to sidestep, you get a lethal hit. I will warn you that it only connects if the second part of it, so basically a round tip range connects on the opponent, then it will cause the lethal hit. Ivy's guard burst game is pretty decent enough for a zoning character. Alright, some moves that you can use to end up running up the guard gauge, of course, is like your break attacks like A plus B, right here, or like 1B plus K. I mean, whether you end up doing the normal uncharged version or the fully charged version, runs up the gauge about the same, but of course if you fully charge it, you get you get more frame advantage, but it's slower. Other moves you can use is like 3-3K hold, 3K hold, 4B is okay, 4B8 is good, 9B plus, or 3B plus K is good. Well, 9B plus K also is good. Like, as you can see, some of these moves can be a bit range dependent. Like, the opponent has to be at a certain range in order for you to use the move. Also, some other stuff. So let's see, even from like Serpent's Embrace, 6B is good from Serpent's Embrace. 4-4 B plus K is good. So that move is basically the same as like doing 3A plus B or like full crouch 3B hold. So anything that goes to the Spiral Lust. So you can choose to you could choose to end up just press the B button and then you just pull it up and you get a bit more guard damage. If you think the opponent's gonna take any sort of defensive action, you could just simply go for the just let it go into the unblockable. Or even if you want, I didn't say it earlier, but if you press the guard button, you actually go into the Serpent's Embrace stance out of Spiral Lust, so that's pretty cool. Like Ivy 6-6B plus K. See, if you have like any sort of advantage over the opponent whatsoever, like again, like on a wake up or anything like that, then you can just use this move. You can even use this like right in the opponent's face, and then the opponent ends up like blocking it multiple times, and then it runs up the gauge quite well. And also, let's see, other things there are. So from Serpent's Embrace, I mean, apart from like 6B, also doing 4B, also good. It's even better than a simple A plus B break attack. And the other moves you can use is 9B. For this, like again, this move is kind of slow, and it's the biggest strength about 9B is that it's a good low crush, and if the opponent doesn't block the first hit, then of course you can end up going for the combo starter. But if you go beyond just 9B, then you'll leave yourself progressively more unsafe. Like doing a normal 9B, I think is like -10 or anything, but it forces crouch. So for all extents and purposes, you're probably not really gonna get punished for doing this move. I mean, on the opponent's block, as you see, it forces crouch. So I mean, different from Wild Rising B, because Wild Rising B would be equivalent to the second part of 9BB. So I mean, and then it gets like progressively more unsafe. So you have to be careful with that. Another move you can use, especially again on the opponent's wake up or anything like that, you have any advantage, is 2B. See, this is like single digit negative on block, only like -6 or anything like that. So I mean, if it hits, then it's good, and if it's blocked, it's kind of like whatever. It runs up the gauge pretty decently, and if you're really feeling yourself, you could do the whole Howling Spirits string on the opponent's block. For breaking the opponent's guard, your go-to move is going to be 2B. This move is really good. Other moves you can use is good old 3B, 9B, 3K hold, 3-3K hold, 6B plus K. Be careful that there's a bunch of moves that you don't really want to break with, because it just leaves Ivy so far apart. But in general, 2B is just so good. I mean, it's unreactable. I mean, it breaks the guard easily.
I can't go on.
enjoy your treat! Give it up already.
Despite being a ranged zoning keep-out character, Ivy's throw game is good. I'll just show off the general throws at first. Alright, her A plus G throw ends up dealing 55 damage and some switching sides, keeps the opponent fairly close to you. Her 4 A plus G or back A plus G throw ends up dealing 50 damage and ends up switching sides also. And I think it can reverse ring out too because Ivy likes reverse ringing out her opponents. Alright, now for her right side throw. It deals 55 damage, which is kind of the same as her normal A plus G throw, so it's kind of average for side throw. But her right side throw gives a solid 65 damage, and now for one of Ivy's favorite throws, her back throw. So this is the Punishment Strangulation throw. Gives you a cool 70 damage. Ivy also has some specialty throws to go along with her normal throws. For instance, from her Serpent's Embrace stance, or SC stance, if you press A plus G, then you end up getting a throw that just deals 20 damage and puts you behind the opponent, so it's a bit of a reset throw. And just because Ivy, of course, also has range throws, for instance, her 2A plus G. This is your range throw used to knock the opponent away, so you can end up creating a lot of space. I mean, well, even your 9B plus K can't even reach, so basically that throw could be incredibly annoying for close range opponents because, again, they have to try and get it on you and they have to deal with all of your range options. And now Ivy's, her longer ranged throw, her 3A plus G. Alright, not 3B plus K, 3A plus G. Here, this throw ends up bringing the opponent to you, but it also puts Ivy into a crouching state. So you can poke with, like, 1B, of course, and you can hold it down, or you can, like, poke with, like, a mid of your choice. And now for the main event of Ivy's throw game, the command throws. Naturally, Ivy's command throws are strong. They're really strong, but they're also pretty much two of the hardest throws to execute in SoulCalibur 6. Alright, I'll just show you right now the inputs for them. The first one and the main one you're going to be probably using the most, between the two, is Calamity Symphony. Alright, this right here is a pretty infamous throw for Ivy. Right, in SoulCalibur 6, the input is 3, 7, 4, 6, 9, 1, 6, A plus G. So that's 7 directions, finishing up, well, it's 6 directions, and you finish up with 6A plus G. So, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty tough input. And if you're playing on pad, diagonals just completely suck when playing on pad. So I heavily recommend that you use the thumbstick. I'll just say straight up, I use the left thumbstick to do the throw because I can't do it properly on the D-pad. Because the D-pad just sucks with, just sucks with diagonals. As for Summon Suffer, the input is 3, 7... Then it's kind of like a DP motion, the 6, 2, 3. Then you finish up with 1 A plus G. So that's 5 directions, then 1 A plus G. So Calamity Symphony, 7 directions total. Summon Suffered, 6 directions total. I'll just say right now that SoulCalibur 6 is pretty generous with regards to its input buffer. I'll say straight up, don't even really bother trying the input like Calamity Symphony properly. I'll just tell you the kind of method that you can use in SoulCalibur 6. What you do is you start your input on like 3, for instance. Like you start on 3, and then what you do is you rotate counterclockwise, and then you just need to end on 6A plus G. Then that's good enough. So the directions can be intimidating, but the main reason I do that is what you do is you can do what's called the Ivy dance. So yes, if the opponent sees you doing this, you're buffering a throw. So in that case, if the opponent sees you buffering, then you can do like 6-6B to kind of fool them. So I mean, your 16 frame get in poke right here. But yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, you can buffer Calamity Symphony that way. But as for Summon Suffered, you can actually buffer it the same way. The difference is that instead of ending on 6A plus G, you would end on 1A plus G, for instance. Then you get this throw here. Summon Suffering does less damage than Calamity Symphony. I mean, Calamity Symphony does at least 80 damage, and Summon Suffering does 60. But if you can do Summon Suffering consistently, it's an unbreakable command grab, so that's a free 60 damage every time. The opponent has to basically duck it to be able to avoid it, and I think they might be able to GI it. I'm not completely certain because I haven't really seen it, or like Reversal Edge. But still, having an unbreakable command grab is really good. But it is nice that you can buffer both throws, start 3, then just rotate, then just choose the one you want to do. I'll let you know that Calamity Symphony has a lot of range. Like this throw, It basically could use it from like around mid-range if you want. Like it goes like really far. For Summon Suffering doesn't go as far, but of course, Unbreakable 60 damage. I'll also let you know also that there's a couple Just Frame versions of this throw. And I'll also let you know right now the timing is really tight. It's even though it's not the same as like the it's not the same as like the Just Frame for Howling Spirits, where that one's like an exact timing. This one's the fastest input. So this, in order to get it, you basically do have to perform it properly. So it's just really difficult to do. And for Calamity Symphony, it only adds like a bit more damage. So if you could do the throw consistently even without the Just Frame, then it's still good. But I mean, if you want to try and punish yourself and try and get down the Just Frame timing, go for it. And I'll just tell you one more thing. You can also perform these throws out of Serpent's Embrace if you want to. And you don't really see the Ivy dance as easily because of how slow she moves during the stance. But see, you can still perform Calamity Symphony or Summon Suffering out of Serpent's Embrace if you so desire. This throw is I mean, you can use Calamity Symphony from mid-range, but it's generally going to be used, same thing. After you like get a knockdown or if you have frame advantage over the opponent, you can try and buffer this throw and try and sneak it in on the... When you have the opponent at the wall with Ivy, some moves that you can use the wall slam is like 3B, 4-4B, you can wall slam. You can also use stuff like 4K or like 6-6-BB. Let's take a look at Ivy's Soul Charge moves. Alright, her Soul Attack, Quarter Circle Forward, A plus B plus K. I mean, it's pretty average. It's got pretty decent range because everything Ivy does has like this good range. If you were to perform her Soul Attack by doing 2-3-6 A plus B plus K, hold it down. And Ivy will go into her Serpent's Embrace stance. I'm not really a fan of Ivy's Soul Charge moves. Like, for instance, she has her 6AA gets augmented. So just the last hit becomes a break attack, even though the last hit's a duckable high. 4A, which is already an awesome move, basically becomes a guard break move without having to... Or becomes an advantage move without even having to hold it down or anything. You can still hold it... You can still hold it down and go into Serpent's Edge, but 4A is kind of a good move, like regardless if you're in Soul Charge or not. 6BB becomes a little interesting with this really heavy hit afterwards, even though they're both linear. Alright, it leaves the opponent in position for a 2A plus G ground throw if you want, or of course the mix-up is with 2B plus K. So that's always one thing to keep in mind, is the opponent's position, to know if they'll end up in position for like a 2A plus G or a 3A plus G, so that's just some stuff to keep in mind. Other Soul Charge moves is 6-6-KK right here. So this move, which is usually a body check, gains track in mid-kick after. You can hold down the second kick and go into Serpent's Embrace. One of the more interesting moves out of Ivy's Soul Charge is her 2-2 A plus BB. Alright, this move does, well, yeah, it does a lot of damage. The first part has a GI, and the last part is similar to Ivy's like 4 A plus B, which is a good kind of GI move in general. So this is 4 A plus B, B, but under Soul Charge you get 2-2 A plus B, B. So if the opponent blocks it, then it pushes them back a lot and does a lot of chip damage, and also runs up their guard gauge quite a bit. So that's one of the more standout moves out of Ivy's Soul Charge. And then there's a couple moves out of Serpent's Embrace. For instance, there's AA, which is basically just like 6AA. So out of Serpent's Embrace, Ivy has her 6AA string out of that. So again, the last hit's a duckable high. And although the standout Soul Edge move out of Serpent's Embrace is 6AA. See, that's a really fast unblockable. It is a high, but it does comes up really fast and does a lot of damage. So in general, if Ivy goes into Serpent's Embrace, your best bet is usually to duck most options. And of course, I already said earlier that 4A is basically the best move out of it anyway. The reason why I don't really recommend Ivy's Soul Charge that much, unless you have to use it as like a get off me move, is because Ivy's Critical Edge is like really good. Right here, it deals a solid 80 damage, which is fairly standard for critical edges. But the thing about Ivy's critical... Oh wow, I got 81 damage. The thing about Ivy's critical edge is that it is a GI. So see right here, it activates quite slowly. Like, you can't really combo it off of, like, launchers or anything. That's not how it's intended to be used. What it does is it GIs vertical attacks. It used to be able to GI all, but I guess Namco thought that was too strong, and yes, I agree with the nerf. But, yeah, so anytime you think the opponent's going to use, like, verticals, most commonly, like, BBs, you could use Ivy's critical edge to be able to counter that. Take note, though, that it is unsafe if it gets blocked. Ivy got some new moves in Season 2, which is naturally good. Some of them include A6, so A forward. I'm not really a huge fan of this move. It's like a slow... Well, it's a slow, high horizontal. Although, if you are going to do this move, you might as well go into the Serpent's Embrace move, because you're considerably less negative on block, even though you can't block in the stance. But if this does get blocked and you go into Serpent's Embrace, you're left at -2, so you can try and stuff the opponent with the body check, or try and sneak the unblockable if they end up like whiffing something with like really short range. So other moves there are is now this one's A4, so it's the other way, so A then back. This move is it's a 16 frame move, so it's considerably faster than the 24 frame A6. This is like a decent move, but honestly, I mean, if you just want track and highs, just use 6A or AA under most circumstances. Alright, now for some other moves. Oh, I like this move. 1 B plus K. So this move has pretty good range. I mean, it's great from around the tip of around like mid-range, not quite long range. So the thing is that if the opponent ends up, for instance, blocking this move, it pushes them back a fair bit, and even then, if you hold it down, you get a break attack option. Although the main use I tend to like this move for is just simply being juggle filler at the end of some combos. Like, this move ends up doing more damage than like just doing a stomp under most circumstances. And the main thing about this move, though, is that this move kind of augments Ivy's, well, game plan in general, which is basically keeping the opponent back. So whether the opponent gets hit by it or blocks it, this move will knock him out. And also, Ivy actually gained the 3 A plus G, so this longer range Snake Sword throw, the one that pulls you in, this one's actually new. So Ivy used to just have this one. Although initially when Ivy got this one, like I said before, this move used to actually track, but now the opponent it doesn't track, and the opponent can always crouch block it. But now it's nice that Ivy now has a longer range throw option for your own pleasure. And also, Ivy got a new break attack now from crouch. So this is full crouch 3A plus B. Alright, take note that it is a high, but look how fast this move goes. I mean, remember out of Serpent's Embrace in Soul Charge, Ivy got that like massive unblockable... Remember, she got that massive unblockable move. I'll just like show you again. I mean, like 6AA. It's like, this one's like kind of like the same idea. But now that it comes out fast, its only weakness is that it's a high, but that's a really fast break attack, which, I mean, is always welcome. So other things that Ivy got in Season 2 is the ability to go into Serpent's Embrace manually. This is just quarter circle back K, well, which is always good. And also, Ivy also got the ability to do her command throws out of Serpent's Embrace, which I like showed you earlier. And I seem to be just screwing up the input now. Why not get... There we go. Oh, I even got the Just Frame version too. But I'll let you know right now, it's really hard to get the Just Frame version consistently. Alright guys, that's it for now. Alright, just one more thing that I just want to let you know is Ivy has a crap ton of unblockable moves. Alright, her generic unblockable is just simply 4 B plus K. Alright, this deals 80 damage, which is more than most average unblockables. It actually has quite a lot of range also. And look at that, even from round 1 fight on Sophidia's stage, it still reaches. I mean, Ivy's got damn long legs. Alright, see what other blockables are there. Alright, 4/4 A plus B, right there. I think this move does have track and ability, so you hold it down. So 4/4 A plus B hold, and right there you get a 70 damage unblockable for that. And of course, let's see, what other unblockables are there? So any version of simply holding down Spiral or Lust. So this is just 3 A plus B. So again, there's like 4/4 B plus K, and of course, 3 full crouch 3B hold. All those, so you get that unblockable launcher. And let's see, other unblockables. Oh yeah, 6B hold right there. And of course, she has, I already showed you this one, but yeah, she has this one out of Soul Charge also. And let's see, oh, there's one more I forgot. And A plus B out of there. So the Ivy has, from what I've showed you, she has at least 6 unblockables. That's a lot of unblockables to work with. Although the ones you're likely going to be using is probably most, like using this one to kind of control space, and of course this one right here. Other than that, the other unblockables are the typical kind of just, the typical kind of like gimmicky stuff they usually get for most unblockables that are usually useless. Like, alright guys, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me on this very fructuous Ivy journey. But yeah, once again, I would like to thank Smart Esports and Trollcoin for endorsing this video. And as always, if you like this video, smash that like button. If you didn't like this video, just hit the like button even harder. And don't forget to subscribe for more juicy 3D fighter content. In particular, I have character guides for SoulCalibur 6 for almost half the cast now. And also, I'd like to ask, who is looking forward to Harumaru, who's going to be arriving very soon? Very soon as in next week. And next week as in, like, next Tuesday. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty awesome to be coming. So, yeah, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So that means leaving a very lovely comment down below. You can also contact Force of Nature on 8-Way Run. And also, I'd like to take this moment to thank my premium top-tier fighters again for their continued support, which I do appreciate it. If you'd like to become a premium top-tier fighter, be sure to click the Patreon link down below. But anyways, this is Force Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time on Top Tier Tips.